Hi everyone, welcome back after a very long weekend, and I hope you had a good time wherever you were. It was kind of rainy and sucked here, but it was nice not to do any work. So I hope you kind of regained your energy and you're all ready to continue. So I basically want to make a few points about the readings that you have for Tuesday. Um, there are two main things in the readings for Tuesday. The first main element is feudalism. And as you read in your textbook, beginning in the 9th century, the Carolingian Empire, the empire that Charlemagne put together so impressively, basically starts to fall apart. It disintegrates. And what happens is that instead of having a centralized government with a strong ruler, local rulers begin to gain more and more power and basically set the rules for their immediate environment, for their immediate surroundings. So what we see is that after the centralization of the Carolingian Empire in the High Middle Ages, which basically means from the 10th century all the way to the 12th century, we have forces of decentralization that typify that period. And these forces of decentralization are also known as feudalism. So what is feudalism? Just in a nutshell, it is a reciprocal relationship between a lord and a vassal. And by reciprocal, I mean that this kind of bond is taken willingly, voluntarily, by both sides. No one is forced into this relationship, and both sides owe something to each other. On the one hand, the vassal has to help his lord in terms of military power. So if the lord goes on a campaign or the king goes on a campaign and he asks a certain count for men, then the count's vassals have to come forward and provide him with basically just brute power. They need to bring in the bodies. They need to provide soldiers, fighters. So that's the first duty of a vassal, to help military-wise. They also need to help in terms of financial help. So, for example, if the lord needs help to marry his daughter, which requires a lot of money, weddings were always expensive, even in the Middle Ages, or he just needs money because maybe he's taken hostage in a military campaign. So it is the duty of the vassals to come up with the money and help their lord. And they also are supposed to help him in legal cases. So what does it mean in legal cases? It's not only to serve as witnesses for him, but basically to come with the lord to the court, and by actually showing up, to put really the fear of God in the hearts of the opponent and also the judges. If you're coming to a case to court and you have like 200 people with you, the judges will think twice before ruling against you, because who knows what kind of chaos might erupt afterwards. So these are the duties of the vassals to the lord. And in return to that, the lord owes loyalty to his vassals. And more specifically, he will give them a fief, F-I-E-F, which basically means land or movable wealth. And this fief, and from here the term feudalism, from the word fief, this fief is held by the vassals from the lords in return for their assistance, for their specific services to their lord. So 4 main elements of feudalism that I want you to remember. First of all, it's a personal bond of mutual loyalty and military service between nobles of different ranks, and it's a reciprocal relationship. And the second element is that fiefs are being exchanged in return for services. The third element is that if there is a king in that country, he is at the apex of that network of personal loyalty and land tenure. And the fourth element is that basically feudalism is a system of governance. It's a form of jurisdictional as well as political power that is being held in private hands, not by a centralized government, but by local lords. So local lords wield not only power, but also authority. So this is the main element, one of the first, this is the first element that you had to read on in your readings for today. And the second one, and you had a few primary sources relating to that item, is the three orders. The source, one of the sources is called a tripartite society, tripartite as in three parts. So what are the three orders? Well, when people in the Middle Ages, in the High Middle Ages, again from the 10th to the 12th century, thought of their society, they thought of it as being composed of three parts, of three orders or classes of men, if you will. Those who fight, those who pray, and those who work. So those who fight are basically the lords and the vassals, the knights. Okay, those who pray are clergy. And these are the two top orders. These are the orders that participate in the system of feudalism voluntarily. Okay, and then the third order is those who work, which basically means the peasants. They were really 90% of the population. They were the majority. But unfortunately, we know the least about them because they didn't leave any written records. And those who could write, which were the really the upper echelons of society, were not interested at all in the lives of the peasants. Although the peasants were the majority, although they provided the food on which medieval society counted for survival, they were not perceived as in any way important or interesting to the elite orders of those who fight and those who pray. So we really don't know a lot about them. And you had to read about these three orders. So if you have any questions about it, please let me know. And these are basically the main elements for your readings for Tuesday. Okay, so hope you enjoy your reading, and I'll be in touch soon. Bye.